So in Jujutsu Kaisen, we have some extremely powerful and at times immensely overpowered characters. Characters such as Gojo, Yuta, and the King of Curses himself, Sukuna. All are incredibly broken and honestly border on invincible within their series. Like, you could essentially make the claim for any of them being named the strongest sorcerer to have ever lived, and no one could even argue against it. Okay, we all know they can and will, but that's the fun of making these ranking videos. Now you just know right off the bat that someone is going to disagree and hate on your list. But even despite that, we went through and read all of the currently released JJK chapters, just to put together our ranking list for the undisputed strongest sorcerer of all time. So without wasting any more of your time, let's dive right into the first sorcerer on our list. It's number 11, Takaba. Takaba is extremely broken and by far the hardest character on this list to rank, because honestly he might just be the strongest character in all of JJK, but he also kinda sucks. You see, Takaba is, or was, a failing comedian who became one of many normal people to become a sorcerer after the culling game. You see, Takaba is extremely pro-violence, and when he's determined to entertain, his strength increases dramatically. Raging Star himself was surprised by this surge in power, and after he gained it, Takaba easily overwhelmed Hasanokei. Takaba also has immense cursed energy levels, as both Reggie and Hasanokei put up a guard when he simply was telling a joke. But that's not all, because Takaba's ability comedian allows him to essentially make anything he finds truly funny into reality. It is said to have the potential to rival even the likes of Gojo and his insane abilities. But Takaba himself also has no clue about what his ability is or how to control it. So while it may be one of the most powerful abilities in JJK, it is also one of the most useless. But moving on, we have number 10, Maki Senin. Maki is slowly becoming one of the most gifted characters in all of JJK. She has increased incredibly in both ability and raw power. She is even believed by many to be on par or even above the likes of Toji. You see, Maki was born with an incredibly low amount of cursed energy, but through a number of very cool and game-changing moments that I won't mention here because of spoiler reasons, she managed to rid herself of all cursed energy, and subsequently gaining a body of steel. And you see, Maki is already affected by a heavenly restriction, which made it impossible for other sorcerers to track her movements in battle. And as we know, sorcerers are inherently weak against those with no cursed energy whatsoever. So immediately Maki is incredibly strong, but when you pair that with the fact that she is one of the fastest and most agile characters in the series, you get an absolute monster. Like, remember, Maki even took down Noya and her father, two of the Senin clan's most powerful. But what's more, even above all of those feats, she had the power to stand the ground against the King of Curses himself, Sukuna. She is easily one of the most insane characters in the series, so don't sleep on her, because one day she will be up there with one of the greats. But now for the minor controversial pick, it's Toji at number 9. I know, Maki fans are about to yell at me, but hear me out. You see, Toji is the idea, the gold standard for everything Maki will eventually become better than. She is well on her way to surpassing him, but I just don't think she is there yet. Like, yes, she threw hands with Sukuna, but Toji killed Gojo. Okay, a pre-awakened Gojo, but still someone stated to be one of the strongest in the known world. Toji's agility, speed are honestly not even matched in the current state of JJK. He is still one of the most impressive characters in the entirety of the series. And when you pair his heavenly restriction with his mastery over all kinds of weapons and martial arts, he becomes borderline unstoppable. I say borderline because, well, he is dead, but even despite that, he still remains as one of the undisputed strongest in the entire series. Like, as it stands right now, I just can't put Maki above Toji, but it is damn close. The closest matchup I think exists in the entire series. So yeah, Toji over Maki, but by the end of the series, Maki easily will surpass him. But now moving on to our number 8 pick, Kashimo. Kashimo is a sorcerer from 400 years ago and was brought back to the modern day during the culling game. And right now, Kashimo is the perfect example for showing us just how weaker the sorcerers have become over the last 400 years. You see, in his previous timeline, he got so bored of fighting weak sorcerers that he constantly was seeking a better and stronger opponent. So following this, he agreed with Kenjaku to one day be brought back to life in the hopes that he would get to fight the GOAT, Sukuna. Kashima himself went on to defeat 40 sorcerers in 12 days during the culling game and subsequently became the first to add a new rule to the culling game. He then easily defeated the strongest version of Panda and went toe-to-toe against Hakari while he had both unlimited cursed energy and automatic healing. You see, while Kashimo is incredibly strong with just his hands, he also has an ability to transmit his cursed energy into electricity, which means even if you try to block an attack from him, you will still get hurt regardless, because although you may stop his hands, the electricity will still pass through the block and shock you to your core. He also used an ability called Lightning Discharge, which had the power to completely destroy Panda's Triceratops mode. And did I also mention that he almost killed Hakari while he had his automatic healing active? So yeah, number 8 is the perfect slot for him as of right now. But moving on, speaking of Hakari, he is our number 7 pick. You see, Hikari is recognized as one of the most powerful sorcerers in all of JJK, and in fact, Gojo himself stated that he believes Hikari and Yuta will be the one to rival him and even surpass him one day, which instantly lets us know that he is definitely someone of noteworthy power and potential. Like, Yuta himself believes that if Hikari is amped up, he is potentially even stronger than he is, which is just insane to even think about. You see, Hikari is incredibly well-rounded in so many different fighting styles. He is JJK's #1 MMA fighter. He has the capability of switching up his style instantaneously, all depending on who his opponent is and what the situation around him is. And when you pair these fighting talents with the fact that his cursed energy is considered rough, it makes an already powerful attack into a sharp stabbing one. But above all, Hikari's true power comes from his domain expansion, Idle Debt Gamble. This domain is a pachinko-themed domain expansion that creates an environment resembling that of a train station. The station then hosts a game of chance, where Hikari's primary goal is to line up 3 of the same number to hit the jackpot, but he only has a 1 in 239 chance of doing so. But if he does get lucky enough and lands it, he unlocks his unkillable mode, which grants him 4 minutes of invincibility and unlimited cursed energy, which you don't need me to tell you is insanely broken within this universe. But now, who do we have at our number 6 pick? It's Yoruzu. Yoruzu is an incredibly strong sorcerer from the Heian era, an era that is also known as the Golden Age of Jujutsu. When Yoruzu was alive, she was completely obsessed with the King of Curses, Sukuna, and longed to make it so that he was never lonely ever again. She was later reincarnated into the body of Sumiki Fushiguro, and has displayed an incredible amount of powerful abilities, along with what was stated to be a cursed energy that is on par with some of the greats from the Golden Age of sorcery. Yoruzu, using her ability Construction, can create anything she already has a full understanding of using cursed energy. However, making something appear out of nothing using cursed energy takes a lot of cursed energy, meaning she has to be incredibly efficient with her creation, which is why she heavily relies on a liquid metal that she had created. She can manipulate this metal however she wants, but using it as armor greatly increases her speed, strength, and agility. However, her true power lies in her true sphere, which is something that generates an infinite amount of pressure. Like, to put it in perspective, if this sphere hits you, it will completely destroy you. And if she so happens to use her domain expansion, it won't miss its intended target. Like, are you beginning to see why I have her at number 6 on this list? She is insanely broken and kinda cute in a psychotic kind of way. But now let's quickly discuss number 5, Yuki. Yuki is one of the characters that we really needed more of in JJK because she is 1, incredibly fun and interesting, but also 2, she is someone that we still don't fully understand. Like, Yuki's abilities for the most part are still kind of mysterious and confusing. Like, all we know is she is incredibly strong given the fact that she is one of the 4 special grade sorcerers in JJK. Like, for the most part, she has only ever been seen in one real fight, and that was against Kenjaku. In that fight, we learned that her immense strength stems from the incredible amount of cursed energy that she possesses. Energy that she can funnel into her ability Star Rage, an ability that allows her to either give herself or her Shikigami Garuda virtual mass. And you see, by doing this, her punches can be made so heavy that she easily shatters the skulls of anyone she hits. But that's not all, because as we know, because Yuki can control both density and gravity, she also has the means to create a black hole, which of course has the power to suck anyone in and destroy them completely. So yeah, she gets top 5 on this list pretty easily if you ask me. But now let's move on to number 4, Yuta. Yuta is one of my personal favorite characters and someone that was stated to be the true main character of the series. He is freakishly strong and contains cursed energy levels that far exceed anyone else in the entire series, with the exception of maybe Sukuna. He is one of only a few people that Gojo himself believes can one day surpass even him. And by using his bottomless pit of cursed energy, he has been seen to boost his physical abilities to the point that he is on par with even Yuji. But unlike Yuji, Yuta also has the ability to fortify his body to the point that any and all physical attacks cannot harm him at all. And on top of this, he also has mastered reverse cursed energy, which basically means he can heal himself from any and all injuries instantaneously. But by far, Yuta's best and most impressive ability has to be the ability to copy other cursed techniques, an ability that is becoming very important in the recent chapters of JJK, but we won't spoil them for you, but just know they are insane. But now let's move on to our top 3. First up is Kenjaku at number 3. Now, Kenjaku possesses potentially the most amount of abilities in the entire series, with Yuta and maybe Sukuna being the only 2 with more cursed energy than him. You see, Kenjaku's innate technique allows him to switch between people's bodies, which means that Kenjaku is technically only a brain and not a person. But upon putting his brain in somebody else's body, Kenjaku also gains access to their cursed energy and cursed techniques, and also all of their memories. And this ability is so good that even the 6 eyes couldn't even tell that he was a fake. And as far as we know, he has been alive and jumping from body to body for over 400 years. He is incredibly strong, and in Geto's body he is seen using a crazy amount of cursed spirits, with one spirit called Smallpox Deity being so strong that it contains its own domain. But that's not all, as he also has the Maximum Uzumaki, a technique that allows him to combine multiple curses into one insanely powerful attack. He is easily one of the most powerful of the series, and is essentially the one responsible for everything you are currently watching or reading. Like, if not for the next two being straight up overpowered, he'd definitely make number 1 on this list for the most powerful. But now let's talk about a runner-up on this list, Gojo, everyone's favorite blue-eyed powerhouse. Now first off, to avoid spoilers, I won't be discussing any of his most recent fights. Like, if you've read them, then you know why I can't possibly mention them here. Like, Gojo himself has multiple powerful abilities, and honestly there is no one in the modern era that comes close to his power. He has both the Six Eyes and the Limitless. And by using the Six Eyes, he can essentially perceive reality in slow motion, as well as see in all directions for miles on end. And by using the Limitless, he essentially gains an unlimited void of everything. And with the combination of these two abilities, Gojo uses very little cursed energy, and is essentially said to have unlimited cursed energy because of it, which is why his infinity is always active. His infinity is a power that stops everything that he doesn't want to touch him from touching him. And through the Limitless, Gojo also gains two powers, blue and red. Blue allows him to create a negative space which technically shouldn't exist, so the universe rushes to try and fill in that space and creates a vacuum. And then red is an application of positive energy, and for us normal people that means it's a laser beam. And by combining these two abilities together, he creates purple, a laser beam that completely destroys and sucks in everything in its path. But like most, his ultimate ability is his domain expansion, Unlimited Void. This ability forces all the information of the universe into your head at once, which completely fries your brain and paralyzes you instantly. Like, as it stands, Gojo is insanely broken, but there is still one person who ranks higher than him on this list. It's our number 1 pick, the King of Curses, Sukuna. Now, Sukuna is the character who has beaten absolutely every single person in the series, and the guy that almost every single chapter gains another insane power-up. And right now in the series, it really doesn't even seem like it's possible to defeat him. So what else could we possibly do but name him the strongest on this list? He was even named the strongest curse during the golden age of Jujutsu, and is currently on his way to becoming one of the strongest characters in all of anime. Like, Sukuna had the ability to banish Jugo with only 15 fingers at his disposal, and had the power to heal not only himself but also others with his reverse curse technique. He can use both his cleave and dismantle to annihilate almost anyone in the series with ease. And his domain expansion is an open type domain with a radius of 200 meters. And when it is opened, anything within that 200 meter range is completely destroyed almost instantly. He is by far the strongest character in the series and looks borderline unbeatable. There is plenty more to be said about him, and almost every single chapter he gains another power, but like I said with Gojo, to avoid spoilers I'm just gonna leave it here, with Sukuna being named the undisputed strongest character in all of JJK. But what do you all think? Do you agree with my list or do you disagree? Let me know down below. But with that, I'm out. Have a great rest of your day, and peace.